Does anybody hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay, I was informed that I was muted all the time, so maybe I will start from the beginning. So, my name is Lucas Niedośpiał, and I'm product manager for Webroot. Meanwhile, of course, because next week we will have a new product manager, but during this transition, you will have the pleasure to work with two of us. So we will be to your help in with all of your problems. With me here on this webinar, there will be our pre-sales engineer, Błażej Długopolski, who will take the part which will be the show of the console for Webroot. Also with us here is our CE sales representatives, Krystyna Meridianowska and Wojciech Ziarek. Thank you for your attendance, and I will proceed to my presentation. So as I spoke before when you didn't heard me, the Webroot is usually associated with the endpoint protection solution, but in their product lines, that is not the only one of these solutions. The first one is the role. We want to tell you about the role of the security awareness, because one of the product lines for the Webroot is security awareness training. So, although businesses may feel that their employees wouldn't be fooled by something like phishing scams or ransomwares, but you could probably imagine that during the pandemic situation here in Europe, this kind of scams are even more often used by the cyber criminals, and it was proven that through some kind of in different reports that those attacks actually were mostly the most successful ones. And in fact, 2018 Verizon Data Breach Investigation Report revealed that 93% of successful security breaches started with phishing. So that is the major problem here, and not only in Europe but also in all around the world. During our presentation, I will use some numbers to show you what actually is sometimes how many losses were caused by this simple person employee error. So it's let me proceed. So the main, as you can see on my presentation, over 90% of successful data breaches was caused by the successful breaches, which with computer-based training you can significantly change these odds, and most of those cyber attacks in last year was performed on the small and medium businesses, because those businesses are not the investment in security awareness trainings are not so common, and the employees of those companies are simply sometimes not aware that that kind of problem exists. Over 70% of those attacks were performed on the MSPs. So those were not aware what to do with the ransomware attacks and how to stop it. So on those stats you can see the overall problem which are touching our companies, touching our businesses. For MSPs, user error is now, and not only now, is a big issue. Somewhere around 95% of all successful cyber attack is caused by a human error, and we in a security department, security companies should always evangelize our partners, our business partners, our clients, that then this problem is mainly caused, but not our employees, not responsible people which are clicking the unprotected, unsafe links or open some kind of virus attachments. So what is necessary to, as the people are this weakest link, what is necessary to prove our to be more proof to this kind of attacks? What we should do? What is necessary? We should prove, and we should prove to our employees that they are this problem. We have to show them that when they will implementing our security policies and they will do everything that our IT security guys tell them to do, and they should be more prepared for those kind of attacks. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I will throw some numbers to you to prove you that not only the small businesses and small companies are now not safe, and are sometimes making a mistake of clicking and catching on the phishing through on the phishing that type of attack. So you probably know your geography, and you know the few countries I will now state it. So please imagine that the Venezuela is the first took the first place on this not nice podium in the cases of the phishing attack, with the score of 31% of people who suffered because of the phishing attack. Almost 65% of all of organizations in the United States was victims of succeeded phishing attacks. So you can. This is the information from the actually from the InfoSec State of Fish 2020, and it concerned the last year, not the beginning of 2020, but whole of 2019. So you can imagine how big, how many of those attacks could be provided during our COVID situation. This is even stronger. You can see it even more because of the report, which was handled to the society by Google, told us that during the period of 6th and 13th of April, it's one week, Google found that there was sent over 18 millions of phishing mail on their servers. So this is just 1 week, and all of those which were counted were in the topic. There was some kind of information about how to fight COVID-19, or what are the latest information, how to be more secure to this pandemic state. So cyber criminals are using our fears to proceed with those kind of attacks. So to raise to be more safe and to help our clients with this problem, Webroot started its own program, which was called Security Awareness Training, which you can buy for your partners, and it's making the phishing simulator, which is sent to your client company, and it's trying to teach the employees how to behave, and those who are caught on these fake emails, fake tweets, fake job. They have to go to this mandatory trainings, which will help them to be more aware. So the second of our product line is the DNS protection, and we would like to talk briefly about the role of this DNS protection in our environment and our structure. But before we talk about DNS security, you need to understand DNS. The domain name system, which DNS is the shortcut, works like a phone book for the internet. When a user enters text into a browser, DNS servers take that input and transfer it into a unique internet protocol, IP addresses, that let the browser open the desired site. But DNS protocols were never designed with the security in mind, and they are highly vulnerable to cyber attacks. So such a catch is very I lost my word, but it's true. Because of that, it's very vulnerable for like DDoS attacks, DNS hijackings, botnets, CNCs, and more. So by redirecting users' web traffic through a cloud-based DNS security solution, businesses and MSPs can finally tune and enforce web access policies, ensure regulatory compliances, and stop somewhere around 88% of threats at the network edge before they ever hit the network or endpoints. So here we have a few stats also. You can see that how this threat works, and it's localized. Those data are taken from the Worldwide Infrastructure Security Report. It's 2006. It's 16, so it's a bit old. But those percentage are could only go higher. So you can imagine how the vulnerability of DNS is causing our companies problems. We have what I stated at the at the beginning of this session of this product. The primary DNS risks are botnet malware, DNS changer, Trojans, ransomware, and web users. And our solution should and will protect you, and should and will help you to protect your DNSs. And maybe in the training, maybe in the technical part with the demo, Błażej will tell you a bit more about it. So, what DNS protection is doing? The DNS protection stops the DNS attacks. And by protecting the DNS connection, it filters high-risk stakes with zero latency, enforces acceptably web access, and giving visibility of web access. So when you have our solution for DNS, that DNS protection, you will probably see on the place when you put the addresses of the servers you want to access that it's protected. This is Webroot. Webroot DNS protection will pass you through your site. This site is, for example, safe, and you can safely go there. It helps to maintain staff productivity because of the thanks to this solution, you actually cannot or you will not enter the not safe website. And thanks to that, it lowers the risk of infections and remediation costs, which are caused by that unhealthy reaching of not safe websites. The main and the core of our product lines is endpoint protection solution. What is endpoint protection? Everyone probably knows, but as to keep it in good order, I will briefly explain what that endpoint protection is, and I will show you the slide which will tell you how it basically works. So, what is endpoint protection? Endpoint protection or endpoint security is a general term that describes cybersecurity services for network endpoints like laptops, desktops, smartphones, tablets, servers, and virtual environments. Everything that is on the end of your infrastructure. Endpoint protection helps businesses keep critical system, intellectual property, customer data, employees, and guests safe from those dangerous that I mentioned before, like ransomware, phishing, malware, and other cyber attacks. So, why businesses need endpoint protection? It's the case as usual. Criminals are constantly developing new ways to attack networks. They taking advantage of employee trust, as we stated before. And they steal data. Smaller businesses may think they are not target, but that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, small businesses with 100 employees or fewer now face the same risks are let's say attack on the companies that employ much more employees, like for example, to 20,000 or even more. No matter the size, all businesses need reliable endpoint security that can stop modern attacks and sorry, I run forward. Every company need some kind of endpoint protector solution to be safe from this new generation attacks. So here we have a slide how our endpoint protection solution work. So when we receive to our endpoint new file, it doesn't matter from where. Our Webroot solution, which is working not on a signature but on hashes, file hashes. It's checking these hashes in our Webroot cloud, and in this cloud, it checks if those hashes shown on some other endpoint which is connected to the Webroot cloud. Sorry, if that file was seen, this hash was seen somewhere, and it probably it has a certain information on it, so it could be good or bad, as you probably know, and as you probably noticed on this slide. So if these hashes were secure and safe, you will probably not even feel that this file was checked, and it's going directly to your endpoint, which is safe. When the file is bad, is infected, or something is wrong with it, this our cloud will say it. Sorry, I haven't seen that file before. I have to check it. And in our cloud, in our client. Our cloud is virtually opening this file and is checking its behavior. If it's bad, it's stop, and it's not going to infect our endpoint. So the same situation, very similar, is done with the files which were never seen before. So as you see on this slide, new file is going through our endpoint. We are checking the hashes as before. This hash from this file is sent to our cloud, where is checked. If it's bad, it's blocked. If it's good, as on the other slide, it's going through our system and it's going to its destination. If the file is unknown, as I stated, there is the pseudo execution of the file, as I told you before, and the file is run up inside our secure cloud. So it's which cloud is checking the behavior of this file, and if everything is safe, it's going to our endpoint. Okay, so we have here a few information and few stats of efficiency of our solution, and you can see that our highly automated solution has almost 100% of efficiency. That's just straight facts from the vendor. And now I will ask my friend, my engineer Błażej, to proceed with our technical show of our console. Błażej, I give you my microphone.
Okay, thank you, Lukas. Hello, everyone. My name is Błażej Długopolski. I'm process engineer responsible for the Webroot solution in Bakotech. Today, I will show you the console of the Webroot and tell some of the most important configuration. So let's get started. Here's the console of our Webroot. Webroot is the anti-malware, like Łukasz said before. It's using only hashes, not the signatures. That's why it's one of the lightest agent in the world, to be honest. Like normal anti-malware agent weight like 1.5 to 2 gigabytes. The Webroot agent weight only like 4 megabytes. So that's really light. And most important, the most options we have, we can do it from the web console. That I will show you now. In the web console, we have the sites that can be the companies that we manage our product. We have the groups, the policies, and the overrides. To be honest, we can start with the sites. If you want to add the sites to our console, we just click the add the sites, tell the site name, and the company one. And we choose, is it the external company or the internal site? Is it the external company, like this is the first company, this is the first time you add this company, it's better to choose the external company. You choose the company size, the company industry, and the billing cycle. But if you have like this company before in your console, and this is like the other office of this company or something similar, we can just choose the internal site, just add the comments tags, and we can proceed forward. After that, we can take the permissions. In the permissions, we of course choose the admins that will have access to our console by the admin, by the view only, or of course no access. And by the default, the admin that create the site is automatically the admin of the site. So as you see, you didn't see my name here, like Błażej Długopolski. Because I am the one who created the site and I'm automatically the administration of this site. I can choose more admins to add or give them permission for view only, but I won't do it right now because it's not necessary. And after that, we have the license for the endpoint protection, DNS protection, and security awareness training. In the endpoint protection is, of course, our anti-malware agent that will protect our devices from the malware, ransomware, or any other type of virus. We choose the license, to be honest, at the start. We can choose the full or the 30-day trials. We can just stick to the full. After that, the site state is the number that the client like buy the possibility to install the agents. Like if I would choose the 10, then the client or the person who using the site can install 10 agents or can have 10 active agents downloaded from the site, from this key code. I can of course choose it more, less, depends on the company that's wanted, depends on the site we created, and we can of course switch it later to higher value or lower value. We can choose the first like policy we use on this site. Of course, the best is recommended defaults because administration of the site will change it anyway for the company policies. And we can add distribution list that would, if we create our custom alerts, we can choose the distribution list instead of like writing the 10 or 20 mails and in every alert. We can just make a distribution list and it will be easier. We have two other options, include global policies and include global overrides. This is stick to the site. We can delete it if we check it. If we check it, there will be always in the site. This will be the copy of the global policies and global overrides from our global console, because we are now in a global console. We switch to the site console in a minute, and if we check it, we will see these policies in our site console. We can copy it, change it. We can copy it and then change it, or just stick to the global policies. But if we check it, we can change it. That we stick to the site at any time. After that, we can choose, do we want to use the DNS protection? If we want to use the DNS protection, we of course have a situation that we choose full or the try key code, and we choose the first policy we want to use, of course. The Webroot has the option that you can forward or DNS protection your guest Wi-Fi in your company. You just change the router IP address to forward the DNS request for Webroot, and here we just add the IP address for the router that the Webroot will take access to it and filter the DNS request and block or not block the site that we want to check. And the last but not least, we have security awareness training. Łukasz told you more about it, that this is the anti-phishing campaign that help your company for the get more aware about phishing campaigns and the cost that company can take after get the attack. But we'll talk more about endpoint protection and DNS protection in this presentation. If you have any more question about security awareness training, you can contact Łukasz or Christina in any time. In the policies, I will show only DNS policies right now, because the endpoint policies will go from the site. We have our policies that we can create, like firma one is a company one. We have the category that we want to block, and the post categories that we can choose from the global categories. Like from the social media, internet communication, we have social networking, web advertisements, internet communications, or like internet portals. We have more like shopping, entertainment, lifestyle, government government services, general information. When we choose this policy, we save it, we can add it to the site that we created, and they will be protected by the DNS protection license or DNS protection in the agent of the Webroot. In the overrides here, we see that we have web block page settings that will how the site when we block the page will look like. We have file whitelist, blacklist. This is of course the global policies, not the site policies, and the web block allow list. If we don't want to use the category or some sites from the category we want to block or allow, we can just go here and make the other policy that will allow us to go from other websites that is in the category, like in the social networking, but we want to give access for our employees for the Facebook. We can just make the rule here that will allow Facebook to go to. And after that, we can go to the site. I will show the groups and the endpoint policies in the sites. It will be easier. I will just back to the sites. We don't need to create the site. As I said before, we can manage our site from this to the global console. We have our permissions with the administration, of course. We have our endpoint protection, DNS protection, security awareness training, and downloads for this site. As you see, we have a key code for the site that will be only implemented in our site. Every site has his own key code. We can download it for the Windows or for the app, for the Apple, for the Mac. But from the site, we have as well options to download the installer agent by the MSI, by the X, and by the command line installer. If we go to the site, we will see what the administration of the site will see. Because right now we were in the global console, now we go to the site console. It doesn't look like the same as a global console, but has like the most options are the same. As we see, we have policies, group management, like reports and overrides, alerts, as I mentioned before, settings, and resources. So if we go to the policy, as you see, we have the white one policies and the blue one policies. The blue one is the global policies. Because I add to the side that include global policies, and I see them as a blue, and the white are my policy. We can of course rename it, copy, set as default, or import and export. Depends on our or what we want to do. About the global policy, we can just switch the global policy, just copy it, change it the name for our policy, and configure it by our will. What we can configure in a policy? If I go to the IT policy, as you can see, we have some basic categories. And if you go through the categories, we have more more closer option to choose. I would talk about only like the best ones, to be honest, that has the most impact for a company. From the basic configuration, of course, we have the show assistant tray icon, show a splash screen on boot logon or on boot up. To be honest, show secure anywhere, and secure anywhere is the agent of the Webroot in the start menu and in add or remove programs. This is only for the security. Like if we want to the employees to not touch the Webroot, we can just switch everything this off. And they won't even know that the Webroot is installed on their devices, and they can't do anything about it. The other options here is poll interval. This is how often the Webroot will refresh the configuration. We can choose from the daily till 15 minutes. Daily is fine, but if we switch many things on the implementation, we can choose the 15 minutes. Of course, we can do it manually from the device that we want to refresh configuration. This is not a problem. In the scan schedule, this is the normal options like scan frequency, when is the time that the scan should start. For the other employee, we can just make in a silent mode, like hide the scan progress windows during scheduled scans. Do not perform scheduled scans when on battery power, etc., etc. The scans are the Webroot as an agent. It's not only one of the lightest agents in the anti-malware environment, but the usage of the memory and of the CPU is really low. Like on the first scan, when to be honest, the usage of the CPU and memory is the most like visibility. It's like 10, maybe 20% of the CPU and memory, and after that, the every scan is like 1, maybe 2% of the CPU usage or memory usage. So to be honest, you won't even notice that the Webroot is scanning your device for the malwares or any of the virus ransomwares. Scan settings, we have the options for the older devices, like favor low CPU usage over fast scanning. The scan will take a little bit more, but will not use the CPU that much like before. This is for the oldest devices that are really old. We don't want to switch it to the newest model. We want to stick to it. It's no problem. We can just turn on these options, and the Webroot will go easy on the CPU. And that's it in this category. For the self-protection, it's normally self-protection of the Webroot agent. The self-protection level, of course, choose maximum, but if we want, we can switch it to medium or minimum. It depends on our company policies, to be honest. We have the heuristic of the USB sticks, of the internet, of the network, on the CD, DVD, and offline heuristic. It depends. We have like the oldest operating systems like Windows XP, Vista, anything like that, or even Windows 7. They have many vulnerabilities that's, to be honest, whole internet and whole world to know about it. We have to protect about these vulnerabilities that are from the past. But if we have like the newest operating system like Windows 10 or anything like that, we don't have to stick to the vulnerabilities from the Windows 7 or Vista because we don't use these operating systems. In the real-time shield, this is the configuration that help us protect our identity. Not our identity, but our files in real time. If we save something, if we download something, if we edit something, the Webroot will scan it to know that nothing dangerous happen. For the companies that works on the files, like they edit many files, saves many files, we have the option for the scanned files when written or modified to turn it off. Normally, the Webroot will scan this file when is it written or modified. But if we turn it off, we don't usage of the CPU and memory in every file that we scan. We wait for the file to. We wait for the file to execute, and after that, the Webroot will like protect our devices from this application or from this file. Then he will check it, so it will be safe. We just switch the point when Webroot will get start to work from the written or modified file to execute the file. In the backup your shield, normal configuration, to be honest, nothing much to talk about. Call system shield, normally we want to protect our call system from the ransomware or any other malware that want to get access for like a system process. In the Webroot shield, we have the add-on for our browser that can protect our device from the site that has bad reputation. We have three colors with the three reputations. Green is a good reputation. Yellow is don't have enough information, and red is bad reputation for the site. And we can of course block access for the malicious websites or for the websites with the bad reputation. Identity shield is nothing more than if we want to use our credentials, name, last name, phone number, address in some formula in the browser, and we want to send it. If the Webroot will see that there's a script on the website that want to get access for credentials, the agent will automatically block the process of the sending our credentials to the internet. The firewall is a normal way. The Webroot is anti-malware, not the UTM firewall, so this is only like the basic options. The user interface is if the customer, the employee, will see the GUI of the Webroot. We can of course turn it hide or just show, depends on our employees or on the company policies. System optimizer is nothing more as a CC cleaner. We clean the registry, we clean the cookies, the cache, and DNS protection is is the options that in this policy we want to turn on or turn off the DNS protection. As you see, on, off, because maybe like we want to turn it on in the marketing department, in the normal employee department, but maybe from the IT we don't want to turn it on because probably your IT department know what to do. After that, we have the group management. I don't have many groups here, as you can see, but we can of course create the group, and we can like make the policy through the group. Like we don't have to get every agent that every device that gets installed Webroot. We can just take it to the group and make the whole policy for all devices in that group. Of course, if we want to, we can like make the group policy like in the default group, we have like default policy, and we want to like have 20 devices here, but one to get another policy. So we can just apply policy to endpoints. Just choose only this endpoint and everything will be fine. We have, of course, agent comments for the start the scan. Use system optimizer, only install if you want to, or reset, or remove password protection. If we remove password protection, we get access for our Webroot agent from the device locally, and we can switch our policy, our file, blacklist, whitelist of our files. And of course, per user access, we can lock endpoint, we can restart, we can shut down anything we want to do, to be honest. In our reports, we can see like the auth seen or URLs blocked. I don't have any, to be honest, data here, if I'm not wrong, because this is like the lab environment. But if we get any threat, any blocked URLs, we can see here in the reports. In the overrides, we have, as I mentioned before, whitelist and blacklist for the file and folders. We can choose to type the MD5, the hash of the file, to get to the white or blacklist, or the path or the path of the file in our devices that will get here and will be blocked, or will get to the whitelist and allowed to proceed. And with the web overrides, we have only allow list. We don't have the blacklist and web overrides in our site. We have only allow list. In the alerts, as I mentioned before, we can create the alert, type name, let's see, threat detected. We have here distribution list. We don't have to like type every single mail. We can just choose the distribution list. And after that, as you can see, the web would help us to make the report, but by making what do you want to use. Like if you want to add the IP address, we just add it. This is the shortcut for the IP address. We don't have to remember it. The easiest way, just click it, and we select first scene, the police name, everything we want to see here in our alert will be sent to our distribution list if we finish this configuration. After that, in settings, we have to set the data feature that we want to see in our reports, in our dashboards. As you can see, we can choose from the 1 month to 12 months or show all the data that we gather on Webroot. Logs is like the audit log, who log in, who switched something in the policies, who changed something in a group management, who add administration, everything we want to see, we can see here. Of course, we can switch the time that it happens, the event type from the group, endpoint policy for override and logon, the involving user. This is the base that get access for my site, involving groups or involving policy. And of course, last but not least, in resources, as I mentioned before, in order from the management, we can only install like the exec. But here we can install the agent installer to install from the background from the command line, install using MSI, or just install normally executable installer that we can start on our devices. After the agent is installed, we will see our devices in group management, and we can configure it to add the policy, add the comments from the agent, depends what we want to do, and we will see the status of the device in our console. This is, to be honest, this is the all for my technical presentation. If you have any question, just you can ask here, or you can ask Łukasz or Christina. And I will get back to you, give you the voice, Łukasz.
Thank you, Błażej. It was nice to hear and see what you have to say to us. That's always nice. And you can probably see now my the last slide. I still waiting, and not only me, We are waiting for questions from you. So if you have any, please ask them. We will gladly answer. And if not, you can see on this slide my email address and also my phone number. Please reach me, and I will directly forward your request to Kristina Meridianowska to help us grow businesses strong and secure. Okay, I see no questions. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. If you have, as I stated before, if you have any question, please send us an email. Please call us, and we will gladly help you. And meanwhile, thank you, and have a nice week and secure week. Thank you. Goodbye.